the view today. The infamous Civil War and its memory lives on. If you remember one day back in August of 2023, it went down right here on the riverfront, and this is what it looks like. It's behind me. They just threw that sign up there recently. But that's the Harriet where the first guy swam to the fight. This is where everything took place. So I wanted to give you a shot of the view, the boat, and the river. Cute. So it's a beautiful day. I came to treat myself to a picnic, right? So I'm gonna find a spot to do. I can do whatever talking I need to do to God, work out whatever is on my mind, and get myself right together, okay? However, the most important thing that I needed to bring with me is this book, which is called The Miseducation of the Negro, and it is by Carter G. Woodson. So if you get a chance, pick this up. I got this from, of all places, the thrift store. Go figure. And I even bought a chair. I'm not sure if you can see that, but I even bought a chair. But here's the little setup. Very simple. One of the best dates I ever had was a picnic date, and I thought, I can enjoy my own company. I'm going to treat myself out to a picnic, right? So that's what I'm about to do. So let me give you the view from where I am right now on the Alabama riverfront. If you can see over there, that's the Harriet. And then this is the amphitheater. They have live shows. As a matter of fact, this weekend is going to be a jazz festival. I'm going to see, and of course over there is a whole bunch of folding chairs. And yeah, it's a pretty view. I was kind of bummed out about coming so late, but it worked out because it's not so hot. It's very bearable right now. So that's a good thing. So I'm just going to get comfy on my little blanket here, and yeah, enjoy myself. Okay, hopefully you can see me. The sun I'm noticing is now directly in my eyes. I'm gonna get my sunglasses because who needs that? You gotta protect your eyes. Yeah. So what are you guys doing to enjoy your own company? Because I've noticed on my spiritual journey, I am alone more often than not. And God has placed me here alone more often than not because I need to know how much to make myself a priority and importance, whether I'm with somebody or not. Because the one companion that I will have for the rest of my life is me. So, cheers. Oh, it smells good. It's not even by my nose and I can smell it. Does smell peachy. Remember guys, stay hydrated. Stay hydrated. Let me close this up so I can see how this tastes. It's so good. This is an awesome, it's a really good wine. That's all I can say. It tastes refreshing. The flavor is really good, the scent is really good, and the price was really good. It was less than $11. Okay, now let's get to the meal. My steak, and I already cut everything up, so it's all bite-sized. And it's yummy. It's perfect. Just like this day. Perfect. It's good and tender, well seasoned, if I must say so myself. And filling. Really good. My hair is still holding up well. If you haven't, go and watch the video when I roll my hair. Excuse me. It's a little spicy. I put a lot of chili on it. Yeah, go watch my video where I roll my hair for the first time. But anyway, I started reading this book while I was on breaks at work. And all I can say is no lies detected. Black Americans, black people have been grossly miseducated because we have been taught to assimilate to other cultures more than getting to know who we are as a people. So this is a really good read. A very good read. I don't want to get it dirty, so I'm going to wait until I finish eating, because this is messy with all this steak sauce and barbecue sauce. God, you did this. So good. This is like a sparkly juice, but there's alcohol in it, but it's so good. Sorry about that. My camera cut off, but I'm back. And I almost finished all of my steak. And whew, I'm full. I had to save some room for my snack, though. And of course my wine. Cheers. Drink up. This is good. So now it's time to taste my dessert that I have here. What do I have? Smells chocolatey and peanut buttery. Oh, it's like an oatmeal chocolate peanut butter bite. It's pretty good. And it goes pretty good with everything that I have to eat and drink. I needed a little sweet after I had the spice of the steak. Let me cover my food. I have a little left. That's the aftermath. And I have to eat before 8 p.m. So I'll probably finish that later. But I'm also supposed to be going on a date. So if I still go, I'm gonna need room to eat. Of course. It's good. It's actually tasty. Hmm. I guess I'll have one more and save the rest for later, another date. And I'm gonna get some, where's my glasses? Some reading in. I might have to pause this part, well, play some other music or do a little voiceover because they're playing music in the background. There's some music going on at the bar up there. So I'm just gonna read my book. Oh, I didn't tell you what it's about. So the miseducation of the Negro is about the miseducation Black Americans and Africans throughout the diaspora have been greatly marginalized when it comes to education and the educational systems, because the educational systems do not teach us about our history, our culture. It assimilates us to the culture of others instead of the importance of respecting us as different. So therefore teaching us the different things that we need to know about us. It just teaches you how to work in America or around the world instead of teaching you about yourself and how great you are as a person because of your history. Yeah, so that basically sums up the miseducation of the Negro. I started reading it at work on breaks, and hopefully I can get to finish the rest of it while I just chill out and relax here in the sun, enjoying nature, grounding a little bit. Like I said, so I still have my shoes off so I can finish grounding. Yeah. So I'm about to do some reading and relaxing in the sun. Look how beautiful everything looks. Let me show you once again how beautiful it looks. It's beautiful. There's a train going by up there. You might see it pass. But yeah, amphitheater, Alabama River, or Montgomery River. I don't know what the name of that river is actually. Yeah. Let me get to reading my book. When I tell you, this wine is a hit. It definitely is a hit. But this is what I needed today. To get outside in the fresh air and do nothing but luxuriate, eat, read, and go home. Oh, you can see the train from here. You see it? Can you see the train? Yeah, there's a train going by in the background. But me, I'm just gonna relax. The camera's getting hot, so hopefully it doesn't cut off again. overcrowding northern universities, especially the medical schools, many of which will not admit Negroes because of friction, the racial friction in hospital practice. In the rush merely to make special provisions for these undesirable students, however, the institutions which are to train them may be established on false ideas and make the same blunders of the smaller institutions which have preceded them. It will hardly help a poisoned patient to give him a large dose of poison. In higher institutions for Negroes, organized along lines required for people differently circumstanced, some few may profit by being further grounded in the fundamentals. Others may become more adept in the exploitation of their people. And a smaller number may cross the divide and join the whites in useful service. But the large majority of the products of such institutions will increase rather than diminish the load which the masses have had to carry ever since their emancipation. Such ill-prepared workers will have no foundation upon which to build. The education of any people should begin with the people themselves. But Negroes, thus trained, have been dreaming about the ancients of Europe and about those who have tried to imitate them. In a course at Harvard, for example, students were required to find out whether Pericles was justly charged with trying to supplant the worship of Jupiter with that of Juno. Since that time, Negroes thus engaged have learned that they would have been much better prepared for work among the Negroes in the Black Belt if they had spent that time learning with John Jasper of Sundew Move fame, joined with Joshua in contending that the planet stood still in the middle of the line while he fought the battle the second time. Talking the other day with one of the men now giving the millions to build the 4 Negro universities in the South, however, I find that he is of the opinion that accredited institutions can be established in mushroom fashion, with theories out of touch with the people. In other words, you can go almost anywhere and build a $3 million plant, place in charge a white man to do what you want accomplished, and in a short while he can secure or have trained to order the men necessary to make a university. We want here, he will say, a man who has, there's another train going by. I'll wait. So rude. So rude. I'm glad I waited till it's later in the day. It's kind of warm out here. Feel a little sweat on my forehead. I do have on clothes under this. I have on like a short bodysuit under here. Shorts. So I am covered up. Let me wait for this train to go by and get some sun. It feels so good. It feels so good. To be on the earth. To be feeling the sun. Feeling the wind. Looking at the sky. Everything about it is just beauty. And it feels good to my soul. I could fall asleep right here, but I know I shouldn't. Safety first. After all, I am a woman, and we have to worry about safety no matter where we go or what we're doing. Anywho, because of men. Anyway, so, can you see me? A man who has his master's degree in English, send me another who has his doctor's degree in sociology, and I can use one more in physics. Now, experience has shown that men of this type may fill in, but a university cannot be established with such raw recruits. The author once had some experience in trying to man a college in this fashion, and the result was a story that would make an interesting headline for the newspapers. When Dr. William Bainey Harper was establishing the University of Chicago, he called to the headship of the various departments only men who had distinguished themselves in the creative world. Some had advanced degrees and some had not. Several of them had never done any formal graduate work at all. All of them, however, were men whose thought was moving the world. It may be argued that the Negroes have no such men and must have them trained, but such a thing cannot be forced as we are now doing it. It would be much better to stimulate the development of the more progressive teachers of old that experiment with novices produced by the degradation of higher education. The degradation of the doctorate especially dawned upon the author the other day more clearly than ever when a friend of his rushed into his office saying, "I have been trying to see you for several days. I have just failed to get a job for which I had been working, and I am told that I cannot expect a promotion until I get my doctor's degree. That is what he called it. He could not even pronounce the words, but he is determined to have his doctor's degree to get the job in sight. This shameful status of higher education is due in a large measure to low standards of institutions with a tendency towards the diploma mill procedure. To get a job or to hold one, you go in and stay until they grind you out a doctor's degree. And you do not have to worry any further. The assumption is that almost any school would be glad to have you thereafter, and you will receive a large salary. Investigation has shown, however, that men who have the doctorate not only lose touch with the common people, but they do not do as much creative work as those of less formal education. After having this honor conferred upon them, these so-called scholars often rest on their oars. Few persons have thought of the seriousness of such inertia among men who are put in the lead of things because of meeting statutory requirements of frontier universities which are not on the frontier. The General Education Board and the Julius Rosenwald Fund have a policy which may be a partial solution of the undeveloped Negro college instructors' problems. These foundations are giving Negro teachers scholarships to improve themselves for work in the sphere in which they are now laboring in the South. These boards, as a rule, do not send one to school to work for the doctor's degree. If they find a man of experience and good judgment, showing possibilities for growth, they will provide him to study a year or more to refresh his mind with whatever there is new in his field. Experience has shown that teachers thus have later done much better work than doctors of philosophy made to order. The northern universities, moreover, cannot do graduate work for Negroes along certain lines when they are concentrating on the educational needs of people otherwise circumstanced. The graduate school for Negro studying chemistry is with George W. Carver at Tuskegee. Hey, Tuskegee is not far from here. At least 100 youths should wait daily upon the words of this scientist to be able to pass on to the generations unborn his great knowledge of agricultural chemistry. Negroes desiring to specialize in agriculture should do it with workers like T.M. Campbell and B.F. Hubert among the Negro farmers of the South. In education itself, the situation is the same. Neither Columbia nor Chicago can give an advanced course in Negro rural education, for their work in education is based primarily upon what they know of the educational needs of the whites. Such work for Negroes must be done under the direction of the trailblazers who are building schools. Flip the page. Building schoolhouses and reconstructing the educational program of those in the backwoods. Leaders of this type can supply the foundation upon which a university of realistic education may be established. We argue no argument here against earning advanced degrees, but these should come as honors conferred for training crowned with scholastic distinction, not to enable a man to increase his salary or find a better paying position. The schools which are now directing attention exclusively to these external marks of learning will not contribute much to the uplift of the Negro. In Cleveland, not long ago, the author found at the Western Reserve University something unusually encouraging. A native of Mississippi, a white man trained in a northern university and now serving as a professor in one, has under him in sociology a Negro student from Georgia. For his dissertation, this Negro is collecting the sayings of his people in everyday life. Their morning greetings, their remarks about the weather, their comments on things which happen around them, their reactions to things which strike them as unusual, and their efforts to interpret life as the paranormal passes before them. This white Mississippian and black Georgian are on the right way to understanding the Negro, and if they do not fall out about social equality, they will serve the Negro much better than those who are trying to find out whether Henry V lusted more after Anne Boleyn than after Catherine of Aragon, or whether Elizabeth was justly styled as more untruthful than Philip II of Spain. So I read some of my book, which was The Miseducation of the Negro by Carter G. Woodson, and I'm still lamenting on what I've read and seeing how I can make the correlations in my life and the people I know that are still here in part of what is considered the South, which we all know everything outside of white America is the global South, right? So, and if you don't know, now you know. Per my fellow Brooklynite, Biggie Smalls. So I'm about to get out of here, but before I go, I'm going to have me one for the road. Why not? I still have to walk a really long way to get to my car. And I might as well finish the bottle. She's done. Let me close that up. I'm going to take that bottle with me so I can dump it out. Cheers. Oh, let me get my little flowers in the picture because they're almost dead. But thank you for bringing such beauty into my life while you were here. have been a nice day to bring Nova with me since it's not so crowded. If you don't know Nova or Supernova, because she's as black as the universe, or what a supernova would be. So Nova, it would be nice to have brought her out here today, but I don't have one of those stakes I could put into the ground so she can't wander off or run away, and she's too strong for me to hold her the entire time I want to come out here and chill. So I'll be looking out at the thrift stores to see if I find one so we can enjoy picnics together. Seems like it's almost sunset. Aw, it's the last. On that note, it is definitely time to go. So I'm gonna get packed up. Thank you for joining me today as I picnic by myself, with myself, and nature. Let me give you one last view of what's all going on here. Again, say goodbye to the Montgomery, Alabama Riverfront. Bye, Riverfront. See you next time. Peace.